ナマステ東千葉です。お幸せ様です。で今日は特別にグレゴリー・ゲイル夫妻にゲストでお招きして新世紀科学のお話を聞きたいと思います。で新しいペンダントもありますのでね、そのペンダントについてもなんかシェアしていただきたいと思います。ね、でこのビデオを見てくださっている方たちの中には多分どういう人たちかね知らない方もいらっしゃると思います。ということで、まず最初にお二人に簡単な自己紹介をお願いしたいと思います。
Hi, I'm Gail Hogue, and I'm so happy to meet you. We've known Chiwa for quite a while because we've been working with sacred geometry, Gregory and I, together for over 38 years. And this is really our gift. My background is that of an artist, and I really found that what was important was doing something that could support the consciousness of everyone here on the planet. And so through sacred geometry, we've been able to create all kinds of wonderful technologies and beautiful things that support people so that they can rise to their level of consciousness and have a happier, more satisfying, more successful and joyful life.
And I'm Gregory Hogue. I've been working with Gail on metaforms, as she said, for 38 years. It began when I started bringing through more information because of a lot of energy that was going through my body in the 70s. It was called Kundalini. And so today, together, we create tools to help people connect to their higher self, raise their vibration so that difficulties, problems, all the things going on in this world don't have the same negative effect. We can rise above it and come from our hearts. So today we're going to share with Chiwa how you too can have this experience.
Thank you, and we send our blessings and love.
では今からグレゴリーさんにこの新しいペンダントについて、そして少し新世紀科学についていろいろ説明とかね、シェアしてもらいたいと思います。よろしくお願いします。Thank you, Gregory.
Okay, thank you. So, what we're going to share with you now is an understanding of how sacred geometry can change your life. Sacred geometry, the universal language of divine alignment. You see, science tells us that 99.99999% of everything around us is pure energy, and only 0.00001% is the stuff that we can see and touch, the stuff we bump into every day. And this stuff, it follows the energetic template of what precedes it. So that vast amount of energy is coming into our reality, and all the patterns that we see in this reality, it follows that energy that came before it. And these patterns actually can bring that energy through into this reality. And it's called sacred geometry when it's able to move that energy into our lives. So, sacred geometry, as we said in the title, it's a universal language. And what that means is that it's understood everywhere in this creation, and it's a language that can speak to our soul, that speaks to our higher self. All the subtle bodies that we have, that language is there of sacred geometry, communicating how we operate, how we are created. Just as all the patterns we see in nature follow the energy of what created it. And that moves from the level of molecules, atoms, DNA itself, that is the way we're created, follows these geometric patterns, up to stars, planets, and galaxies. So these are some forms called Platonic solids. They were named after a famous Greek philosopher, Plato, but they existed long before Plato, and even we found carvings that go back maybe 10,000 years. So the question is, how old are they really? You see, if we take the number of degrees on the surface of one of the Platonic solids, the tetrahedron, add it to another Platonic solid, the octahedron and the dodecahedron, it will add up to 8,640,000 miles for the diameter of the sun. And if we take a different set of Platonic solids and add up all the degrees on the surface of their faces, what we find is a total that equals the diameter of the Earth. And if we take the cube, it has the exact number of degrees that when we translate it into miles, will have the diameter of the moon. So what this means is that all of these geometries, the Platonic solids, they actually existed on a higher energetic level before the sun, before the moon, before the earth were created. And they are divine archetypes. That means that consciousness itself, the creation of everything in this reality, follows these patterns. And the archetypes that are building this reality, that arise from consciousness, those archetypes are immutable and they're universal in nature. We can take different groupings, say the cube, which is equal to the moon, and we add the diameter of the moon to the diameter of the earth, you're going to get the number of degrees in another geometry. This same geometry on the right that we call the sphere of health. It also happens when you add up the number of degrees on the face of an icosahedron and a dodecahedron. Add them together and you have the number of degrees for this geometry. So you see how the moon, the earth, these geometries, they all dance together in a play, in a rhythm, in a way that shows us how incredible creation really is. And these are metaphors for us. So it's like we're an iceberg. That means most of us is hidden. all the way up to soul. Our subtle bodies can't be seen. It's only that tiny little bit of the iceberg that's above the surface that allows us to really see what's going on with the iceberg, but the rest is unseen. And that's the same with us. Most of us is unseen. But if I turn it over, it's easier to understand that the bigger part, the unseen part, came first. And that's the part that's creating us as human beings. And on the right, we can think of the soul as like a ship on top of the ocean that's pumping air, that's keeping us alive at the bottom of the ocean. So that means the energy flow from soul down into our body is what's keeping us alive. And all the difficulties, all the diseases that we experience in this world, it happens when this energy from soul gets blocked and doesn't flow anymore. So that's what I'm going to be showing you now, is that when we have things like electromagnetic pollution, our cell phones, the computers, those energies put a kink in our lifeline to soul. They block us. They don't let the energy come through. Stress, when we get worried, when we are not happy about the way things are going, that disconnects us and blocks our heart from opening up. And negative emotions, whenever we get upset and we get angry, or we feel sad, or we feel guilty, it's impossible to connect to the bigger part of ourselves, to that love that we truly are. And all the judgments and our beliefs. We believe what our mother told us, what her mother told her, what her father told her. It goes on and on and on. And who really knows the truth? It's inside your heart. That's where you need to go for that truth to be discovered. And the toxins in this world are also blocking that higher connection with that love that we truly are. So it's time to get rid of all of these blockages. And that's what we can do with these new pendants that you and I are wearing right now. And so what has been your experience with this new pendant, Chiwa?
Well, I feel energy upgrade for one thing, and more connection. I felt the connection with the universe and this oneness. Yeah.
And that's happening because we have so many different antenna systems. Like we found ways to shrink these geometries, the geometries that connect with the sun, that connect with the moon, the earth, and everything. When those energies are here on our body, we start vibrating like with the bigger part of ourselves.
Wow.
We start vibrating with the energy that's going through the earth. And with that vibration, then the stuff that goes on with the toxins, the fears, all the judgments, they fall away.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And so that's what starts happening. And I've seen grandmothers who said that their grandchildren weren't coming to them. They'd run away. But when they started wearing the pendant, grandchildren started crawling all over them.
That's wonderful.
Because they're attracted to the energy.
Yes.
Children know energy. Animals, pets, they will recognize the energy
Yes.
when it is good.
Yes.
And we do too.
Right.
But our minds say, no, can't be real. But if we trust our hearts, we know who feels good.
Yes.
We know who doesn't feel good,
Right.
who isn't going to be able to give us the support, the love that we need. So that's where wearing this pendant allows you to tune in.
Mm-hmm.
So there's more intuition
Yes.
and a stronger ability to hear your heart. And then the magic
Mm-hmm.
can start to happen. Because when we are with our hearts,
Yes.
then universe, it plays out everything in a magical way. You know, you can be in the right place at the right time,
Yes.
and you feel the love that you are. And that's what happens with these pendants.
Wow, beautiful. We all need that,
Mhm.
especially at this time, this change happening in the world.
There's so much change
Yes.
happening right now.
Yes.
And we, all of us, can be a positive part of that change. When we are in our hearts
Mm-hmm.
and feel the vibration of all that is, then we can be that beacon of light for our friends, for our family, for our children,
Yes.
for the people that need to make a difference in this world. If we stay strong in our hearts,
Yes.
we can always deal with people with the truth, which can be loving,
Yes.
which can be full of what's best for everyone. Because all of us, we are here
Mm-hmm.
to be in service for all.
Oh.
We are, each
Yes.
one of us, we're part of a whole. We're one family. And so we may look a little different, but inside we all are the same. And in the bigger part of
Yeah.
ourselves, we really are the same.
Yes.
We take on different masks here,
Mm-hmm.
just like in any play, but all of us are part of the same divine body.
Yes.
And that's why we're here on the planet now, to open up to the divine beings that we are, so we can help the change come about on this planet, and we have more love,
Mm-hmm.
more respect, more presence with what needs to be for the good of all.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And thank you for all you are doing, creating these amazing tools and helping humanity. I really appreciate all you are doing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing the information with the audience.
And we'll just finish a little bit more.
Okay.
And so all of these things that you see at the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
these are all different things that are inside the pendants
Mm-hmm.
to make them work. And this is inside, this is actually one of our old pendants.
Mm-hmm.
And we have all these different crystals. We have an oscillating crystal there. And there are many more new things that we have in here now in the new pendant. And what these do for us, when we've done scientific measurements, we're seeing what's going on inside this person's body.
Mm-hmm.
The red is where a lot of their organs are shutting down, are not working very well. And yet, if they hold the pendant for just 5 minutes everything moves into the green balanced zone.
Wow.
And if you look at the energy around the body, we were able to measure that and see where there are holes, breaks in her energy field. Well, in 5 minutes, everything fills in, and what happens for the places where there were breaks, where there was not energy flowing, now there's even more energy flowing.
Wow.
All of this helps us create a healing environment that allows us to connect to the bigger part of ourselves. And so we get more healing energy
Mhm.
when we're connected to those bigger fields as well. Because the body knows what's natural.
Mhm.
It knows what it needs to be healed.
Yes.
And so if we give it the space, if we give it the love,
Mhm.
then the body can shift into a space where it's not as cramped and held in. It can expand and be more healthful again.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And thank you for joining us. And we welcome you with our hearts and our love.
Thank you so much. ということで、今日はいろいろと貴重な情報をシェアしていただきましたが、もしこのビデオを見てくださっている方たちの中で、あなたがこのペンダントをオーダーしたいということであれば、このビデオの下に私の E メールを載せますので、ぜひとも連絡してください。ね、サポートさせていただきます。ありがとうございます。